I really feel that I'm entering a creative era of my life, and I'm really starting to change the way that I'm perceiving my life and what I'm doing. And it's really making a positive impact on my life. First, let me go through kind of what led me down this path. I remember reading a study one time where children of very wealthy people were studied, their careers. And these were people that did not need to make their own money at all. And they ended up choosing careers in one way or another in the arts or things that were creative. They chose to be gallery administrators. They chose to be musicians. They chose to sit on boards of museums. They always lean toward a creative path as opposed to a path of starting their own business or doing something with numbers. They also found that children that didn't have wealthy parents, so children that had to pay their own way once they were adults, they chose career paths that were very typical. 9-to-5 corporate jobs, manual labor jobs, things that were not necessarily creative. And I thought about this in my own life because I've been struggling with my 9-to-5 job because I don't feel like it gives me a lot of flexibility in terms of what I can do or expressing myself. It was in reading this study that I realized what was lacking from my life was that creative aspect. I didn't pursue a lot of creative things as hobbies, and it really, I think, showed in my life. So what I've been doing to become more creative is entertaining a lot more hobbies and trying to incorporate creative daily habits into my life. First, I've been doing ballet for I think almost 5 years now as an adult. I did it as a long time for a kid, and I quit out of necessity because I had to go to college and get a job. And I picked it up 5 years ago, mostly because I really missed ballet as a whole. But I found that when I was dancing, I was so happy. The worries of the day kind of washed away. I was expressing myself, expressing my emotions through dance. And that was an outlet that I had never really had. I've also picked up other artistic and creative habits. I've started reading fantasy novels to get my imagination going. I've begun writing, just to write, to get thoughts and ideas out. And that's something I never would have done before. It's a creative outlet. It helps me express my emotions, process my emotions, and it's been a lot of fun. In terms of the day-to-day, I've tried to incorporate creativity just in the things I do. I now spend at least 15 minutes a day listening to music, and that music reflects my mood, helps me process my emotions. I already ballet dance like 2 or 3 times a week, but if I'm home and it's not a dance night, I try to set aside 5 to 10 minutes just to turn on some music and dance. And I've also become really excited about decorating my home. That's not necessarily a creative habit, but it's something that I haven't done in 5 years that I've lived in this house. And I want to start decorating to make my home reflect myself and to add some style and pizzazz to my house. So now that I've talked a little bit about the creativity process that I'm going through and kind of how I've got to where I am, I want to talk to you a little bit about why this is such a good thing for me and what being more creative has done. First, I am 100% more present, both when I'm doing creative things and when I'm not. When I'm doing creative things, you're very forced to be in the moment. If you're dancing, you need to pay attention to what you're doing. If you're reading, you have to pay attention to that book. If you're listening to music, you're listening to the words and the rhythms of the music. It really pulls you out of the future mindset that you have a lot of times when you're at work thinking about everything that's due and you have this assignment and this meeting later. It pulls you out of that futuristic mindset and that stress mindset and keeps you focused on what's happening here and now. Being more creative has also allowed me to put more priority on myself. Typically, when we're in non-creative things, we're focused on getting a result, we're focused on doing things that need to be done for other people. But when I am in my creative mode, I am doing things completely for myself. I'm dancing because I want to dance for myself. I'm listening to music that I want to listen to. I'm picking out things for my house and clothing items that I want to wear and that I want to see around my house. And most importantly, I'm taking time for me. Before this creative spurt, I rarely had time for myself. I went to work, maybe I did a little bit of hobbies, but I mostly thought about what I needed to do the next day and what I needed to accomplish before that next day started. Now that I've taken more time for myself every night to be creative, that other stuff I've struggled with a little bit in terms of timing, but I feel so much more relieved that I am finding ways to express myself and to calm myself down. This has also helped reduce my stress. I can get really stressed from work. I can get stressed with all the things I've got to do in my life. And being creative just adds joy and fun into my life. I enjoy dancing and expressing my emotions. I can listen to music and it can change my mood. I can read a book and get really excited about an adventure and find joy in the main characters and their development. And this is all stuff that probably would not be in my life if I hadn't started getting more creative. And along those same lines, I am extremely happy. Just the fact that I can focus on myself and do things that I want to do and things that bring me joy, that has brought so much more happiness into my life. And another way that being creative has really affected my life is just from trying new things. I have tried more things in the last few months that I never would have thought myself to do. I read a large fantasy book, which I never would have done before. Typically, I stick to nonfiction and things that help me learn. And it brought me so much joy to read this fantasy book, and I'm hooked on fantasy books now. And the same goes with writing. I tried writing a little bit and found that I really do enjoy it. And I found myself getting excited to write and excited to just think about what I would write. And it's these trying of things, which I wish I had done much earlier in my life, that has allowed me to explore what's out there and see what's out there and evaluate all the possibilities. And I'm still going to keep trying more stuff. There's things I want to try, and that'll come with time. But I think what's important is this exercise in being creative has really gotten me out of my comfort zone and trying new things, exploring new things, and finding things I really like to do. It has been really valuable for that, and I'm grateful that I've had this opportunity to find more things that I like to do and explore them further. Now, where all this leads me, I do not know. I do enjoy the creative aspects of my life, and so I think in the future I might lean more towards the creative side in terms of either career or more hobbies, or maybe narrowing down the type of hobbies I do. But right now it's fun and I'm enjoying myself, and I would highly recommend that you all try and get a little more creative too.